Hello friends, my name is Shayla and this is take 2 for my second half of the month April reading wrap up. So take 1 accidentally got deleted off my memory card, so here we are with take 2. So let's just go ahead and dig right in. I read like 20 volumes of manga this month. It was insane. This is just in the second half of the month. I read 4 in the first half of the month. And then I also read 7 novels. So we'll start with the novels and then we'll proceed to the manga. So the first book we're going to talk about is The Cruel Prince by Holly Black. This was the Shay Geeks Out book club pick of the month for April. We are having the discussion for it Wednesday night, the 2nd at 8:30 on Facebook. I will leave a link down below to the group so you can come join us to chat about it. Anyways, I had really mixed feelings about this book. Essentially, I ended up settling on a 3.5 star rating. I didn't love this book, I didn't hate this book, but it was a little bit better than a meh book. So 3.5 is the star rating I have settled on for this book. Essentially, we're following Jude and her sisters as they live in the Fae Realm. When they were young, a Fae came, killed their parents, and took them to the Fae Realm. Jude's dream is to become part of the King's Guard, and so this is kind of her journey to get as close to that as she can. There is a Fae prince her age who ends up teasing her and bullying her quite a bit. So it's really interesting how it all plays out. Essentially, I was really liking this book until I read the last 3 pages of the book, and it kind of sullied 3/4 of the book for me. So I was really kind of upset when I got to that point. So I'm interested enough to probably read the sequel, but at this point I'm really just kind of upset about my reading experience with this one. Everybody talks about how it's so good and so earth-shattering. None of it is. At least it wasn't to me. Maybe it's because I read a ton of fantasy and a ton of manga on top of that deal with Fae. So, you know, everybody's like, but the Fae are mean. Of course the Fae are mean. They like to be mean and play tricks. That's just what Fae are. So, anyway, that's kind of my thoughts on it. If you feel like you need a more in-depth, spoilery discussion about this, let me know in the comments down below, and I am happy to film it. Next up, I continued on with the Immortal series. If you watched the first half of the month wrap-up, you saw that I read Wild Magic, the first book in the series, and I did read Wolfspeaker, Emperor Mage, and The Realm of the Gods, all by Tamora Pierce, which completes the Immortal series. I really loved this Immortal series. All of these got between 4 and 4.5 stars from me. I really like Dane and Numar. I really like their dynamic. I really like them as characters. I really want to go back and read Tempest and Slaughter now because of Numar. Like, we get to see him younger through that series, and I really would love to dig in, and I really enjoyed this series for what it was. And again, these are young adult novels. I would probably say younger young adult rather than, you know, like, this isn't Sarah J. Maas kind of young adult. This is, you know, younger young adult. You know, early teens. You know, up to 15, 16 probably it still really would be the target demographic for it. I still really enjoyed them and I'm 33 years old, so that tells you what I think about them. I'm reading these through for the first time. I've never read this series before. I missed it as a kid somehow. And so I'm reading them with April Sarah's Read Tortal read along, which I will leave linked down below for you, so you guys can go ahead and check that out. I'm doing it all year, so you'll see them linked in most of my wrap-up videos. Next up, I did continue on with the Dark Hunter series. There's actually another one of these, but it's out in my car. So I read Dance with the Devil, Kiss in the Night, and Night Play. Night Play is my favorite in the series so far. I really liked how the coupling played out in that one. And I also like how much the world just cracked open so much in this particular one. So I really am enjoying this. This is a smutty paranormal romance series to the nth degree. I really am liking it though. Sherilyn Kenyon's writing is like candy to me. It is like crack cocaine, whatever comparison you want to make it to, that's what it is to me. I always feel like I can't get enough of it. I'm really enjoying it. So anyways, if you guys have been tempted by the Dark Hunter series at all, I highly suggest picking it up. And last but not least, for the novel portion of this wrap-up, we have A Gathering of Shadows by V.E. Schwab. This is book 2 in the Shades of Magic series, and I ended up giving this one 4 stars, just like I gave the first one. A lot of people say they felt like the second book was better than the first book. For me, they were about the same. I don't know if it's just Victoria Schwab's writing, or the fact that we were in Lila's perspective the majority of this book. I'm not 100% sure. All I know is I felt about on par with it. And I do have to say, I do enjoy reading from Kel's perspective more than I like reading from Lila's perspective. That much I do know for sure. So the thing, because this is book 2, it's going to be spoilers, so I'm not going to talk too much about it. But there is a magical competition in this particular novel, and I do feel like that added to my enjoyment level of the story. So if you like magical competitions at all, I highly suggest checking out the series and toughing it out at least to this second book. The first book wasn't bad for me. It was just kind of an average fantasy novel, and this felt mostly like an average fantasy novel with kind of a magical competition mixed in with it. And I did really enjoy that aspect of it, but the rest of the book was kind of meh for me, which is why I settled on a 4. So anyways, that's my thoughts on A Gathering of Shadows, and if you want more, let me know in the comments down below, and I'll look into reviewing the whole series when I finish. Alright, let's dig into the massive amount of manga volumes that I read in the last couple weeks, because it's really ridiculous. And I know it's ridiculous, so we're just gonna go with it. Some of these are wrapped up in another video, so I'm just gonna briefly go through those. So here are 5 of these 6 volumes in the My Friends and Family Recommend Me manga video. So I have another one that's part of that, but I'm gonna wrap it up with its sequel because I've already purchased it and read that. So let's go through these really quick, shall we? So first up we have Millennium Snow Volume 1, which I ended up giving 4 stars. Fairy Cube Volume 1, which I also gave 4 stars. Pokemon Adventures Volume 1, which I gave 3 stars. Cardcaptor Sakura Volume 1, which I gave 3 stars. And Rurouni Kenshin, the 3-in-1 Omnibus Volume 1, which I gave 4 stars. So if you want to hear more of my in-depth thoughts on that, you can check out that video, because it is kind of a 20-minute vlog style video about trying out those series, so I go much more in-depth with my wrap-up of those in that, so I will just leave that linked down below for you because we've still got so much to go in this. Alright, so now I've got 2 volumes of manga that aren't really connected to the rest of their series because I haven't picked up the rest of their series yet, so let's go ahead and dig into those. First up, we have Fuku Fuku Kitten Tales Volume 1. This is about an adorable kitten and its elderly master and all the cute antics that kittens get up to. If you're a cat fan at all, or you like kittens and the antics of kittens on the internet, you will probably like Fuku Fuku Kitten Tales. This is the same author of Cheese Sweet Home, which I do plan on picking up soon, but I want to finish up Fuku Fuku Kitten Tales first. Next up, we have The Water Dragon's Bride Volume 1. So essentially, in this one, we've got a young girl who falls into water and ends up in a parallel dimension. And through a series of circumstances, she ends up sacrificed to the water dragon, or the water god in that realm. There's a lot more to it than that. That's a very oversimplified version of it, but I really am enjoying this. I picked this up after I finished Ancient Magus Bride, because I wanted things like the Ancient Magus Bride that would kind of make me feel that way. This one does give me Ancient Magus Bride feels, because this little girl was sacrificed to be the bride of the water god. So I am really excited to continue on in this. I do plan on picking up more volumes relatively soon, but I will explain a little bit more on that in a follow-up video to this one. Next up, it's a little bit bittersweet, but I have finished my read of Full Metal Alchemist in these beautiful 3-in-1 omnibuses. And this completes the story of Full Metal Alchemist. I absolutely adore the story. You guys know how much I love Full Metal Alchemist. It is so, so good. So good, guys. Oh, I could sit here and talk all day about Full Metal Alchemist, and y'all know it. So I'm not going to do that in this video. If you'd like to see a full series wrap up with the comparison to the anime and the manga, I would love to do that for you. Just let me know in the comments down below if it's something you want to see. Next up, we have the other book that was part of that Friends and Family Recommend Me manga video, and that is Princess Jellyfish Volume 1. I have gone on to read Volume 2. I am absolutely madly in love with Princess Jellyfish. These are 5-star manga for me. I am really super adoring them. I love our main character, and she ends up meeting a beautiful stranger through mysterious circumstances, and her life completely is changed. Her world is rocked by the fact that she met this beautiful stranger, and I could go on about the nuances and my love of this for hours and days. When the series is completed, like when I've got them all and I've completed reading it, I do plan on filming a series wrap-up of this one as well. If you want to see individual wrap-ups sooner than that, just let me know down below. Okay guys, we got 2 more series of manga that we're wrapping up. They're not completed, obviously, but I'm just grouping them all together. This is another one that I picked up because I finished Ancient Magus Bride and I was jonesing for that same feeling. So that is The Girl from the Other Side. I've read volumes 1 through 3 of it. This is not going to be everybody's kind of manga. I ended up giving each of these volumes 4.5 stars. I'm really enjoying our story. So we've got a young girl named Shiva who is friends with an outsider. So essentially, if you touch an outsider, you end up becoming an outsider. It's like a disease. Anyways, but Shiva can interact with outsiders and for whatever reason not get sick and not become an outsider. Anyways, these are really good. Volume 3 really started to kick open the world and my understanding of how everything's working. So I am really excited to continue on with this one. Again, I gave each one 4.5 stars. You know, you have this outsider here who's trying to understand her and the world she lives in and all those kind of things, and so it's really, really interesting. So I highly suggest picking this up if it interests you at all. The art style is a little bit different than a traditional manga in this one. It's more sketchy kind of style rather than a traditional crisp line that you'd see on most manga. So anyways, food for thought. Definitely check it out if you're at all interested. And last but not least, I have volumes 2 through 6 of Dream and Sun that I proceeded to binge read as each one showed up to me, and I absolutely adored it. So we've got volume 2, volume 3, volume 4, volume 5, and volume 6. These are all the published novels that are translated into English at the moment. As soon as there are more, I plan on picking them up. This has been a really fun ride. If you liked Fruits Basket at all, you would definitely like Dream and Sun. This is the same author of Orange by so it's Orange. Same author as Orange, Ichigo Takano. I definitely suggest picking it up if you liked Orange as well. This is a more lighthearted version than Orange was. Orange is a heavier contemporary. This is light, fluffy contemporary, and I'm here for it right now. I was really jonesing for it, and I really love it. I can't wait to read more. And I gave each of these between 4 and 4.5 stars. I've really been enjoying this series. Okay friends, so that is it. That is everything that I read in the second half of the month of April. Again, the first half of the month will be linked down below. And thank you guys so much for watching this video. I know it was a little on the long side. Please like and subscribe if you haven't. And in the comments, let me know what your favorite read of April was, and I will see you next time. Bye.